I'm right on time. I'm going to let people log in. Hi, my name is Emily Schromm. I'm just going to give it a couple seconds to have you guys hop on the call. I'm so excited to be doing this with you guys. I feel like if I talk, I'm going to ramble and I'm just going to wait a little bit. So, this is the first time I've ever been on time for anything. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. But I hope you guys are having a beautiful Wednesday. Is that what today is? I think so. How is it already almost April? That just kind of drives me crazy that, like, you know how old people, when they you're little and you're like, God, old people always say how fast time flies by. And like, I'm that person now. Hi guys, hop on in. I'm just so grateful that Nutritional Therapy Association reached out. So thank you, NTA, for having me on. My name is Emily Schromm. So I am a CrossFitter. I was a personal trainer originally when I started my business over 4 years ago. And I have been doing nutritional therapy for almost 2 years now. So this is my office in Denver, Colorado. I love this little office because, it doesn't take much to have a little hole in the world to run your practice. But it's so fun when people ask me, hi guys, thank you. It's so fun when people ask me, what is nutritional therapy? It's like, oh gosh, there's so much I could talk about because I love it so much. And even 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I would have had no idea that this would have been something that I was into and what I was doing, because finding NTA was kind of an accident. But like most things in my life, it was an amazing accident, and I'm so grateful for it because it completely changed my practice. So I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about my story. So probably, gosh, it's been about 8 years. I was asked to be on a reality television show. So when I said yes, I actually had to leave college in order to do it. And I hate reality TV, so I think it's kind of ironic, but it was just basically me saying yes to opportunity. I just knew that I had to do more. I wanted to do more. And then through watching myself on the show, I realized how unhappy I was. I mean, and now looking back as a nutritional therapist, I'm like, God, everything makes sense. But my mental state wasn't good because my gut was awful. I had digestion issues my whole life, and I never really knew that was connected. I had terrible skin, and then I had to watch myself with terrible skin and hate what I saw. And then I knew that what was on TV just wasn't who I felt inside, and there's something missing. So it was through watching myself that I realized I have to do something. I'm so sick of talking about doing something and wishing for change and always saying that I wish this and what if that. And I just took initiative and I did something about it. I moved to Colorado, lived in the mountains, and I just decided to change my life. And at first I didn't know what I was doing, but I did whatever I could. I found programs online and I tried different diets. And through the process of just learning and educating myself, I just became fascinated about what the body can do and how nutrition can change your world. And it's this, you guys all know, like, it's just mind-blowing when you realize all these health issues you've had and all these things that you've been struggling with, you can actually fix with food and education and trying to learn, what you actually consume does to your body. It's incredible. It's incredible. So long story short, I got rid of grains, I got rid of gluten, I got rid of dairy, and completely changed my life. And through this, I started doing online challenges. So you can find me at emilyschromm.com. I've ran these 21-day challenges that's starting April 3rd, coming up pretty soon, for a long time. But there was something missing. There was like, I had the nutrition piece, or at least I thought I knew, but of course I had the exercise piece. You guys know I love working out, but there was clients coming to me that had chronic fatigue and they were exhausted, and no matter what meal plan I gave them and no matter what exercise I did, I could not get their body to change, and I couldn't get things to do what I wanted them to do. And I was like, what is this? And it became more and more common, and I would get frustrated with my lack of knowledge, and I started hearing things about leaky gut and adrenal issues. I'm like, I'm missing something. I'm missing a big something. And I knew that I had to do something about it. And it's hard to find programs that address this stuff. Before NTA, I didn't find a program. And I was just so grateful. I was sitting in my living room. I was looking at books. I was just frustrated. I was like, what do I do? What's my next step? What am I going to learn? Because I'm always trying to learn, but I knew this had to be a commitment. And I see on the shelf my Eat the Yolks book from Liz Wolfe, and it says Liz Wolfe NTP. And I was like, and I love Liz. Liz is awesome. I was like, Liz Wolfe, what is an NTP? And I Googled NTP, and then everything happened. So it was like I signed up for it the next day because that's how I am. I'm crazy. When I know, I know. And the first event or the first class, the way it works is you go to a class a couple times out of the course of the 10 to 11 months, and that's your city, your location. And Salt Lake City was the first location that was happening soonest, and it was closest to Denver, and I just did it. And I got so lucky, I just can't even believe it. It was the best accident that happened. John Jennis was my teacher, who actually is on my podcast today. I just started a podcast called EmFit Radio, and I interviewed John at the Nutritional Therapy Conference that was in Vancouver a couple weekends ago, and I just put that podcast on, so you should check that out because you guys all know John Jennis is awesome. He was my teacher, and I just was like, who is this? What is this person saying? These are things that I have no idea exist. I didn't know that you can push on a person's rib cage and get a number that can signify if they're digesting food. And it just changed my life. And I love being able to take this personal training side, this CrossFit side, this, let me give you meal plans, let me give you workouts, but combine it in my practice with this very hands-on functional approach. It's changed everything. And the things I've learned has just been incredible. Please put Kenna. I didn't even know I could put my podcast on Spotify. I will make sure I do that. Thank you for telling me that. So I'll do that. I'll let you guys know when I do that. So for me, when I think about my experience with the program, I really could not say enough about it because one, I didn't really know what to expect. I knew that I needed more information about adrenals and gut health, but the things that I've learned with this hands-on approach, with this functional perspective of how the body responds to everything, it's just incredible. So I think the first thing that I really took away from it is that as much as I want food and your meal plan to be 100% the answer, our body is so out of balance because of the things we eat and the toxins that we're around and the past diets that we tried and the stress we put on our body and through our body. When we have those kind of things around us all the time, our body is going to be out of balance. And so for me, you guys can see this. So this is like, I'm a huge believer in supplements. And before nutritional therapy, I would have said just fix it with food. And I do think just changing your plate can completely change your body, or your health. But at the same time, when it comes to the clients that I'm seeing, supplements are so awesome. And I've seen great changes. This is actually a really important piece of my NTA journey, is that through the NTA journey, and I'll make sure I address these questions, so keep asking them and I'll scroll through. Through my NTA journey, I actually experienced the worst adrenal issues that I've ever experienced in my life. So I decided to do the program. I went to Patagonia. I got a bacterial infection. I was CrossFitting a lot. I got my wisdom teeth taken out. There was a lot that was going on, and I just felt my body completely shut down. And so as I'm learning and getting tested on adrenal issues or adrenal fatigue or adrenal dysfunction, I am going through it for the first time that I've ever experienced. My hips hurt, everything hurt. I was exhausted. It was really intense, and it was amazing because if I hadn't have gone through that, then I wouldn't have been able to address it with my clients in the way that I can. Not saying that it's good for people to go through that, but it was crazy because I was learning and being like, oh, this is what is happening. So that was just a piece of it that I had while I was going through school that just was like, it really, it affirmed everything that I was learning. Like, these aren't just supplements that you take in hopes that it works. It's like, these supplements are for you. It's for the person. It's not for, just a general blanket statement that says everyone should take this, everyone should take this. It's like you are finding out what that person's body needs. And when you can do that with a client, that's pretty mind-blowing. You're going to change that person's life. So, sorry, I move my hand a lot. You guys will appreciate this. Look what I'm having. I don't really need this, but I'm obsessed with the taste. I know you guys know what that is. Repair Vibe. Okay, let me go through this a little bit. Okay, yay, you signed up for my challenge. So I have a 21-day challenge. If you are having a hard time giving clients meal plans, or you just don't really know where to start with your clients, it's $21 and it starts April 3rd and it's awesome. Okay, so these are great. What testing does NTPs offer for adrenals? Okay, cool. So when you are, and this is just a little piece of what NTA will teach you, is there's things called Chapman reflexes. And Chapman reflexes are basically, if you think of when you're training really hard and your muscle's sore and there's trigger points in your muscle, this is the best way to explain it. And you push a muscle and you're like, oh God, that really hurts. Or like a knot in your back and it really hurts. There's those kind of signals for organs. And you can push on them and say, hey, on a scale from 1 to 10, how much does this hurt? And if it's a 10, and you're looking at their signs and symptoms and their priorities, you can figure out what the body's needing. And so with NTA, they use linguoneurotesting, where you actually place a supplement on the tongue, they taste it for 15 seconds, and you can test that point and see if that number changes. I also continued to do John Jennis's interactive healing systems muscle testing. With those two combined, incredible. So the adrenal testing that I do, not only Chapman reflexes, and I actually teach seminars to CrossFit gyms about the hips and adrenal cortisol connection based on this Chapman reflex point alone. I'm actually doing a talk at PaleoFX about this as well. So please come to PaleoFX and come to my workshop. But when you are looking at, tying that in with applied kinesiology with John Jennis and his program that he taught me, you can see your muscles fire and engage, which has just been incredible. So there's lots of testing you can do for adrenals, but mainly looking at signs and symptoms from a NutriQ assessment form that I send to every client, looking at Chapman reflexes, not just the tenderness, but seeing how it ties into leg length and if it's changing the glutes and the way they activate. And if this is way over your head, if you're not a part of NTA, then please go listen to that podcast that I did with John Jennis. It talks a lot more in depth about that. The adrenal reflex points are amazing for sure. Okay, cool. So let's see, what else can I tell you? How much this has changed my life? I really love when I can help somebody that's been through a lot of wrong answers and wrong paths. And so it's just been really fun for me to teach people how to balance their body. So it's just this fun, PaleoFX. Oh, PaleoFX. PaleoFX is in Austin, Texas, once a year. You just go to Google PaleoFX. It's the third weekend in May this year, and it's going to be a ton of NTA actually will have a booth there. It's incredible. So many different talks and speakers, and everybody they're just so smart, and you'll learn so much, and it's a great experience. A little bit, let's see, for my health, how has NTA changed my health? God, I just, I thought that the only supplement I needed, I was a total meathead. All I did was go to the gym and CrossFit and trash my adrenals, and thought that all I needed was some post-workout protein. So for me, NTA, I learned what my body needed. So not only did I go through some adrenal dysfunction, I learned that I have a tendency to be insulin resistant, and I have a tendency to be, if you can't tell, a little higher cortisol. And there's going to be times in my life where my cortisol drops and plummets, and when it does, I start feeling sciatic pain. I start feeling my glutes stop activating. And then I know what supplement I need. So for me personally, I do really well with glutathione. I do really well with brain. I've had a lot of traumatic brain injuries, so I'm really good about taking the right brain protocols. And I've just seen it translate into every piece of my life. I run 2 businesses. I just launched a Kickstarter last year for the MPAC. It's a backpack turned training bag, and And I'm trying to do that along with nutritional therapy and doing online challenges. And I really would not be able to do any of it if it wasn't for the fact that I was balancing my body and keeping my nutrition and my supplement protocol in check. And I wouldn't have ever known how connected it was without NTA. And as far as bringing it to my clients and the benefit that I've seen in my practice, oh my God, guys, do you know how many people have gut issues? Do you know how many people have adrenal issues and blood sugar issues, and how many people can change everything when you fix those? You know, when you look at mental health, like, these are big things, big topics. If you're just having a client that feels low and depressed and just has anxiety, let's talk about their gut health, and let's change their gut health, and you will change that person's life. And then when you look at adrenal issues, when you look at cortisol issues, if you can help them regulate their blood sugar throughout the day and stop craving sugar so much, because all they've been told is that they're a bad person because they crave sugar and like something's off. What if they found out that it was actually because they needed some pancreas support, and that pancreas support can then help them balance their blood sugar? And then all of a sudden, this person is being successful on a diet for the first time, or for some lifestyle change for the first time. Like, you can so easily change these people's lives just by making small adjustments and learning what their body needs. So it's completely changed my practice. I started running 7-day adrenal challenges, 7-day gut challenges. I have for me, most of my business is online, so the online challenge piece is huge. But when I talk about what lights me up and what is my, like, you can see it in my being when I am in person with somebody, muscle testing them and doing the Chapman reflexes and doing the functional evaluation. There's nothing that feeds my soul like teaching somebody about their body and seeing their face light up and seeing them be like, what did you just do? What supplement was that? What did you just put in my mouth? It's crazy. It's things that people aren't doing. And NTA has been able to provide it with a really amazing program that you can do at home. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do this program with my businesses. And just because it was mostly remote, and then I traveled to Salt Lake City, I was able to do it. And I will say that the people in my group, in my class, they are still my best friends. I was so lucky. So John Jennis, of course, incredible. Dr. Rachel, who is the group leader, is in Denver, so I still see her. I'm actually filming with her tomorrow for my 21-day challenge. She's going to be a guest on my podcast. She's amazing, Rachel Yan. Some of you know her. And then I had the students there that, even though we don't see each other, I see a couple. The connection I made with people that want to do the same thing you do, you can't find that anywhere else. I mean, you're learning and going through and testing on each other. And I can't speak enough about the people I met. I got really lucky with the group of friends that I found through the program. So that's something also that was just so fun, to go to a different city. Okay, so Emily Sumner, NTA focused only on the paleo diet or an all whole foods diet, of course, depending on the case? That's a great question. So I am a huge believer, and especially was, in grain-free, dairy-free. And I was like so stubborn, everyone needs that. And actually going through NTA, I realized that there are people that can handle grains if they're properly prepared, if their digestion is okay, if there's no like big inflammatory markers, then some grains are so important. Because the only grains I would do would be white rice and then my other carb source was sweet potatoes. And as an athlete, when you can start adding gluten-free oats with somebody's diet, or when you can start helping somebody cut some whole wheat bread every morning, but then switch to gluten-free oats, and they do okay with that, then that's huge, because they're going to be able to maintain that diet. They're going to be able to sustain that, instead of saying, you can't have all this food, this is the only thing you can eat, it's so restrictive. That's not something you want to do. So NTA actually opened my eyes to say, like, it is not all or nothing. And that was a really great lesson for me to learn. Also, another great lesson for me to learn, and this is something I still see a lot, and I just think it's good to address, is as much as I love higher fat diets and ketogenic diets, that unless you are properly digesting those fats, then we are only hurting our body. And so I think that it's just tough, because this can be a big, long conversation, and that's not what I'm here to talk about. But gut health is everything. And when you don't digest your fats, you can cause gut issues. And so for me, learning that I have to make sure that the clients that I'm giving this high fat diet to are digesting properly, or I'm doing them a disservice, that was big for me. So I'm really grateful that NTA opened my mind to more possibilities. It's all about eating real food and then supplementing accordingly to the person. I hope that helps. Oh, Lorraine, I'm so glad you like my MPAC. I'm quite obsessed with it. If you haven't seen it, I'll talk about it. I'll show you at the end, but www.thempack.com, and it's a backpack that, this is actually, I'll say this, this is really cool. NTA and my MPAC have always been together, and I actually was creating and prototyping this backpack while I was going to Salt Lake City for my classes. So it was so fun because I was testing as I was traveling, and I just always remember like having all these terrible prototypes next to my desk, and everyone's like, what kind of backpack is that? I'm like, don't worry about it. It's ugly. It's going to be cool. I promise. But then at the Nutritional Therapy Conference that was in Vancouver, for the first time ever, I was able to sell MPACs at my first booth because I had inventory. So I feel like they're just meant to be together, the MPAC and NTA. They are legit, Riley. You should definitely get them. Oh, I'm so glad, Kenna. Okay, so my morning routine. That's a great question. I really struggle. This morning, I would never do what my advice, I'm kind of a hypocrite today. I can't even say that this happened today. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I had a crazy day of filming yesterday for my 21-day challenge and for some MPAC projects, and I did a terrible job at sleeping, and I actually was really proud of myself because with NTA and the things I've learned, I know that when I don't sleep and when I don't properly fuel my body, which I didn't, when I work out, I'm only driving myself into the ground and affecting my adrenals. So I didn't actually work out yesterday, which is a big deal because usually I would make myself do it anyway, and then I get into this whole adrenal issue that I recovered from and I don't want to go back to. So my morning routine, I'm really trying to get in the habit of every morning at 6 a.m. writing. I really want to write this book, and I've been writing this book for a while, and I just feel ready to write it. And NTA, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't feel confident in this book. And I don't feel like, when I saw Liz Wolfe NTP on my shelf, and it was this feeling like I'm going to do that. That's something I'm going to do. That's going to be on my book someday. And who knows when, but that's a huge piece. So I'm going to try to write. I'm sorry, I'm such a rambler. If you haven't met me before, my brain is just like on fire all the time, and I apologize. So I am going to start that habit. I always have coffee. For a long time, actually, I didn't have coffee because of my adrenal issues and my gut issues, but I have been able to have it, and so I have it in moderation. And then I always listen to NPR, and then I have a really good breakfast, and that's kind of how I start my day. I hope that answers it. Okay, cool. Hi, Angelus, maybe? In the middle of going to Bauman College, but considering NTA because I like the muscle testing program and it seems more helpful for entrepreneurs. Thoughts? Actually, I don't really know. First of all, two-part question. When it comes to NTA, I think the things you learn, even if you use it or don't use it, if you go to practice and have clients every single day in your office, or you just decide, I feel more comfortable making meal plans, or I feel more comfortable writing a guide, an ebook, no matter what your end goal is, you will learn so much more than you thought you would. And that was awesome for me. I studied nutrition a lot, and I was still like constantly learning. I loved the book list. There was just awesome things that I just was so grateful for. So I don't really know if it's better or not for an entrepreneur. No matter who you are, if you're an entrepreneur, you will make it work. But no matter what, if you want to learn good information, NTA is what you should do, hands down. I don't know anything about Bauman. I'm sure it's awesome. You're going to learn everything. As long as you're learning, you should be good. But I can't compare. But the functional evaluation, the one-on-one time, which is kind of hard to mass produce, and that's okay, is incredible. Easiest way to explain to clients why to avoid gluten. Okay, well, you say, one, they're coming to you with issues, right? They're in your office, they're sitting in front of you. They have top 1 through 3 priorities of why they don't feel good and why something's not working. So when you look at what gluten does to a system, and not everyone is as reactive to it as most, but I definitely think that most of us are, especially the way gluten is processed, not even genetically modified, but the way it's denatured. What it does to our body is it automatically creates an inflammatory pathway. So you're creating more inflammation in the body. So if someone's sitting in front of me and they have gut issues, or if someone's sitting in front of me and they have mental issues, either one, I want to tell them that we have to lower inflammation. We have to fix what starts here and translates to the rest of the body. And so number one thing, what's inflammatory, and gluten is one of those things. And so that's a great way to phrase it. You can also, when you show them the muscle testing, the internal foot rotation, and they can feel how much tighter their body gets when you have food. So I have these amazing food vials. I should just show you all my stuff. So I have these cute little food vials that I got, and that's how I muscle test. It's really awesome with the same internal foot rotation thing that you guys learn with NTA. They can feel it, and that's powerful. You got to teach them how to feel it themselves. You can also do the histamine test when they touch their toes. Hold the vial, touch their toes again. There's just so many things you could do to teach them. It's not just me saying this. It's like it really is affecting your whole life, and you want to be healed, right? Okay. Hi, Rosemary. Thank you for clarifying. So John Jennis, gosh, I don't even know if this is official, so I'm going to not say this. But yes, the things you can learn through NTA are unlimited. The resources, the teachers, the people, the connections, worth it. Are there any supplements that you think everyone should take to maintain a healthy gut? Well, if you have an impaired gut, if you have leaky gut or gut permeability, then we got to start there. So I always start people on IPS or Repairvite or a glutamine supplement. And then I got to figure out why that person has digestive stress. So are they digesting food? Do they need enzymes? Do they need HCl? Is it their brain? Are they not getting into a parasympathetic state? Do they need some oils? There's just so many spots you can go for. And then we build off of that and start creating a good colony. And that's when probiotics come into play. So it is really bio-individual, but as far as keeping a healthy gut, glutamine is always really great. Marshmallow root, slippery elm is always really great. Marshmallow root, this is fun. So I started going to herbal medicine school in Boulder, and because I wanted to learn more about the supplements that I was recommending to clients. And marshmallow plant is actually how marshmallows originated. So marshmallows, when you think of marshmallows and how gooey and sticky they are before they were all sugary, they were made from a plant. So marshmallow root, when you think of what it does in your gut, it makes it really gooey and like solid and sticks together. And when you have leaky gut and it's pulled apart, that's what you want. So that's a fun fact about marshmallow root. Let's see. What are your thoughts on CrossFit and how it affects the body? Oh man, Abby, putting me on the spot. Where do I start? CrossFit's amazing. You guys know I love CrossFit, but when it comes to adrenals and cortisol, you just have to make sure your body's healthy. So when I'm doing CrossFit or when I have a client doing CrossFit, recovery is key. So best way to recover is your food, making sure you're eating enough, making sure you're getting good proteins and good fats, and then carbohydrates appropriate for CrossFit. If you're low carbohydrate with CrossFit, you're going to tap into cortisol, so you have to be smart about that. You can do some ketogenic with CrossFit, but you have to be really good about replenishing carbohydrates pre and post workout. I talk a lot about this in my challenge because this is something I see a lot. If I have somebody that's struggling with sleep and energy and they have a shift in their squat and I can tell they're exhausted and all they're doing is going to the gym and pushing start and going ham, then I need to tell them to take some steps back. Let's work on just a strength program. Let's slow down the intensity. Let's really start to heal the adrenals, because all you're going to do is see plateau and weight loss. You're going to stop seeing muscle increases, and you're really going to I mean, they're affected. They know their energy's off. So we want to catch it before it gets too late. Do you feel that NTA sets up career changers for success as practicing NTP and TC and steps career changers? So I'm not really sure what that means. So do I feel like NTA set up my career and changed my career? Yes. I was a personal trainer, CrossFit coach, made meal plans, and now I'm able to address things like leaky gut and adrenal health and cortisol health, and being able to combine those two worlds is huge for me. I mean, this is my dream, is to be able to bridge the gap between typical like women's health magazine fitness, let's change your body, but then teaching them this is so much more about what is happening inside than you realize. And so that's NTA has been that bridge for me, and I'm really grateful for that because it's been able to open so many doors, and it's going to continue to open so many doors for me. So I don't know if that answers it. It's really cool. They actually have programs in Denver. They didn't, when I went to Salt Lake City, they hadn't had one in Denver yet, but there's an NTC program in Denver that is happening so soon. So it's cool. They have two programs, NTC, a consultant, versus NTP, practitioner. I went all in. I wanted to do the practitioner, but a lot of people that just want the knowledge and they don't have a lot of time to go to a different city, they only have to go once, then you can do NTC and get you basically get your door in the direction you want to go to and be able to combine it. It's an incredible resume builder. The things that you can do with just NTC or NTP, the credentials are awesome. No, Kenna. This is great. Do you guys have any questions? You're in the NTP program right now. Awesome. Yay, I'm so glad. NTC Spring 2017. And you get plugged in with so many great people because these programs have just invited so many awesome things. So, yes. So NTPs have the functional evaluation in addition to all the like fun little tests like on the vitamin C and the zinc test, etc. Awesome. Natalie just said there's an info session tonight with one of the lead instructors, Caroline. That's awesome. Caroline Behringer's awesome. Okay, so what else am I doing with NTA? Well, I incorporate it into my 21-day challenges always. It's been my favorite part. I always create 21 videos for $21 with meal plans and recipes and exercises. It starts April 3rd and it's powered by Reebok, so that's a huge thing I'm working on. So sign up if you're interested, if you want to learn more, if you just want to get some new meals. It's a great community. I'm really grateful for it. So you can find all that on emilyschromm.com. And I'll be talking a lot like with Dr. Rachel, and I'll be talking with a bunch of people on brain health. And so it's fun because I can incorporate exercise with the NTA stuff that I've learned. And then what else am I doing? The MPAC is going really well. If you are in the industry or if you're in the market for like trying to figure out how to start strength training or working out again and you're kind of overwhelmed, it's a backpack that goes wherever you go. So it's an awesome backpack. Let me just show you. An awesome backpack, laptop sleeve, front pocket, but it comes with reservoirs, and it comes with 2 water reservoirs that you can fill up with water. You can actually fit 4 in if you want, but most of my clients use 2. You tighten up the straps and you make it a workout bag. So you can squat with it, deadlift with it, power clean with it. I have an iPhone app, Android's coming, to teach you how to use it. I have workouts online at theempact.com to show you how to use it. And then my 21-day challenge uses it. So there's so many things that you can do with it. And I am your trainer if you need somebody to help you work out. I have a strength training program as well. And then I am working on corporate wellness. So something near and dear to my heart is, we have clients that come to us for help, but what about the clients that are sitting at a desk all day and they don't realize how bad they feel? And that's where my passion is. How do I get somebody that is so used to feeling like crap understand that they don't have to feel that way? And that's what NTPs and NTCs are good at. They're good at taking nutritional deficiencies and showing you there's a reason that you have migraines. There's a reason that you're getting shaky. There's a reason you're not sleeping well. And so I've been for the last year working on a corporate wellness program, and I'm really excited to be able to bring that to different companies in Denver. So that's some stuff that I'm doing. I'm going to just open up to questions. Yay, Christina, that makes me so happy. If I can give somebody good tasting, easy recipes, like I don't do things that are 5 ingredients or more. Like I don't have time for that. Just give me quick, good food, make it simple. That makes me really happy. Da-da-da. Cool. There's a link for Caroline Behringer's info session. Oh, hi, Caroline. You're right here. I haven't met you in person, but I have heard amazing things. I teach at a Pilates studio that doesn't have heavy weights. Oh my God, yes. This is amazing. So this is the reason I have this is like I want to give people that don't have access to heavy weight without having to worry about all the expenses and the room. And so I'm working on getting into gyms. So if you have a gym that you want to use this with, or if you have an idea or your gym, or you just want to get more info, please email me. So my email is support, S-U-P-P-O-R-T, support@emilyschromm.com. So please reach out, see, I do bulk discounts for gyms, and I can even logo it with your cool little Pilates logo. So many things that you can do. Thank you. My workshop weekend, that's a great question. My workshop weekend was awesome. So when I had 3 of them, so the NTC program has 1, NTP has 3. And, at first I didn't know what to expect. I actually, for the first time, I kind of told you guys I was going through some pretty severe adrenal issues. And the first one, I was really sick, and I sat down and I ran to the bathroom. This is a gross story. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but it's really funny because this is how I met my really good friend, Eric. I ran to the bathroom and I puked, and I have never puked in my life. This is day 1 of the class in Salt Lake City. I don't know anybody. I don't even know what I really got myself into. I just showed up off the plane and then ran to the bathroom, puked, and I sat down, and Eric was next to me, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know you, but I need to tell somebody that I feel terrible and I just puked. And I just don't know why. And so that's how we bonded. So we started off on a really good foot. You just get to know people really quickly. If you're shy, people make you feel so comfortable and so at home. Ask questions. The teachers are all really great. I had so much fun. How do I put what's something that you approach differently about nutrition because of what you learned at the NTA? I talked about this a little bit, but when I first was getting into NTA, I thought all grains were evil, nobody could do them, and I thought all dairy was terrible and nobody should do it, and that it was all paleo or nothing. And NTA really taught me that, 1, don't give fat to people unless they can digest it. And don't keep giving people all this amazing food unless they have a healthy gut to absorb it. Why waste money on a grass-fed steak and amazing sweet potatoes and coconut oil greens when as you're chewing it, it just goes right through you. So it's really important to make sure you're digesting food, making sure your gut is in really great condition so you're absorbing all those nutrients. And it's not just about the food looks great, so it must be perfect. It's really about what the body's doing. So that's been a huge change in my approach. Okay. What are your thoughts on long distance running and the effects on adrenals? That's a great question. Well, I think that your body will tell you when it's time to take a break. I see a lot of chronic fatigue syndrome or adrenal dysfunction because of those runs, and it's important to recover. And I actually prefer having my clients do interval training 2 or 3 times a day and then 1 long distance run instead of constantly doing long distance running. So just from a personal trainer answer, it's better for your muscles and joints to be able to do sprinting and intervals and still maintain the endurance that you need for those longer runs. Sorry, they are getting lost. Typical food day for me. So I dabble back and forth. Like right now, I'm on a little bit more of a ketogenic kind of diet because although I'm in the CrossFit Open, I haven't been training my 2-a-days like I usually do. And so I have been doing a MCT powder in my morning coffee. And then I like to go until 11 or 12. And then I usually have 3 eggs and any sort of like some sort of sweet potato or sometimes white rice, and then I have a bunch of greens and coconut oil, and then I work out. So that's usually my pre-workout. And then after I work out, I always do a post-workout protein with a carbohydrate, depending on how much I'm working out the next day or how much weightlifting I did. So I use Pure Wad, which is a beef protein isolate, and it's amazing. It seriously tastes really good, and I can't do dairy. And then I have 2 more meals varying in just proteins and good greens. And I usually live off of Wild Planet tuna at least once a day because it's good. And then I live off of a greens powder from Pure Wad. And then I also love Epic bars because they're high protein chicken sriracha bars on top of a salad with some olive oil and almonds is clutch. Hi, Alexandria. Actually, it's, more so what people need to talk about with nuts is phytic acid. So breaking down nuts can be tough on the gut. So I would say it's important to just make sure you're always chewing, you're slowing it down, you're not just grabbing and going. Blue Almond Diamonds has a really great 100-calorie pack. And even though I don't tell people to count calories, I kind of want to get people away from that lifestyle. I love that it's already predetermined because it's so easy to effortlessly just eat nuts. So those little 100-calorie packs from Blue Diamond is awesome. When it comes to omega-3, omega-6, you talk about this a lot with the NTA program, but most standard American diet, 20 to 1. 20 omega-6 to 1 omega-3, and we want to get that as close to 5 to 1 as possible. So how do we do that? We take a really good high-quality fish oil. We make sure that we're eating low-inflammatory foods, especially processed foods, processed sugars, and then we're eating really good meats, so wild-caught fish and grass-fed beef, and outside of that, with a fish oil, you should be good to go. Oh, you did my challenge 7 times. It's so awesome. Okay, I'm going to take one more question. Again, if you have any questions, so where to find me? So Emily Schromm. I tagged my name on this post, so just go follow me on Facebook and you can probably find almost everything. I have emilyschromm.com, which is where I run my 7-day adrenal challenge, gut challenges, 21-day challenges. That's starting April 3rd, so go sign up. It's amazing. And then I also have a bunch of fun shirts, superhero shirts and mugs and like just so many fun things that I've sold the last 5 years on my business. It's just a really fun community that the superhero world has brought me with my 21-day challenges. So go check it out, emilyschromm.com. And then I also do in-person consults in Denver. So Tuesday and Thursday, I see people in person doing nutritional therapy. I also do Skype consults. But most of my time and energy right now is doing www.thempack.com. So my backpack bag. So check it out. Repairvite. So I sell this on my site because it's amazing. Glutamine, slippery elm, marshmallow root. Heal your gut, but figure out why it's distressed. You can't just take supplements without knowing the whys. It's so important to not just supplement yourself without finding the root cause. So do that. With mercury, so the cool thing is find companies that are aware of it, and I don't worry about it. But you can also do a hair mineral test and test it. Okay, that was awesome. Again, follow me on Instagram at Emily Schromm. I also have an Instagram account called Superhero Challenge where I post all my food. If you follow Emily Schromm on Instagram, you can find all of it. And then I also have my MPAC Instagram Evolve Motion. I have an iPhone app called EmFit, and I have workouts, recipes, mobility tips, MPAC stuff, just everything you could think of. And then I also have my new podcast, so EmFit Radio. So it's on iTunes, and you can find all of that. Basically, just go to my app or to my Instagram, and you'll find all the connections. Lots going on. But again, seriously so grateful for nutritional therapy, because especially like the way the program was set up for me, it was doable. It was life-changing. I mean, you guys know, if you follow me for a while, my program used to just be all about, this is what you eat, this is how you work out. And now it's like this full body approach, and I'm just so grateful for it. And I think everyone should learn, not only for themselves, but if they're working with clients, really how to get to the root cause, because I have so many clients coming to me that have tried everything. They've been to health coaches and they've been to, nutritionists, but there's something missing. And when you can hands-on tell somebody what they need, it's just incredible. It's so, so incredible. I'm really glad you guys joined me. I'm really glad. Thank you, NTA, for having me. And of course, your amazing program. So grateful for it. I will be at PaleoFX, and I know NTA will be as well. And I'm also going to be at FitCon for anybody in Salt Lake City, and then at Fit Expos. So I'll just keep you guys posted on Emily Schromm. You guys are awesome. Sign up for my challenge. Check out my MPAC. And I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday. Mwah!